What's going on, everybody? Wapo here, aka Nemo, aka Nemo Hose. And if you're a returning player in Marvel Strike Force in 2025, this video is perfect for you. I'm going to be giving you 7 tips to kind of help you get back into the game in 2025. Let's jump right into it. Okay, tip number 1 is focusing on post-Aries characters. So there's 2 eras in this game. There's pre-Aries meta and post-Aries meta. All these characters on the left-hand side are pre-Aries characters. So the very last team that was actually pre-Aries, meaning like the last team that came out before Aries was released, is Illuminati. These other 3 teams here are still actually pretty viable in the game. Works for Money, one of the top war teams still in the game. Spider Society is one of the best flex teams in the game. This team is very good in multiple different game modes. They're good in Dark Dimension. They're still pretty good in raids, but we have a new skill team now. But still a pretty decent little flex team if you're just starting out. And then Cabal, one of the still very useful teams in Cosmic Crucible. And then all these characters on the right-hand side are going to be post-Aries characters. And you can tell a significant jump in stats. So some of these characters are 105, some of them are just level 100. If you take a look at the Spider Society team, this team is all level 105, gear tier 19. Their max power is 5.4 mil. Compared to this team right here, Orcus, which is a post-Aries team that is also all level 105, gear tier 19. And look at that significant difference in power level. So that's about almost 2 million power difference right there. And the most significant difference is the 20% base increase in stats. So essentially what happened is there was kits there was call outs in the kits that talked about max health. So instead of them putting it in the actual kit itself, they just added that sort of health bonus from the actual kits into the actual base stats themselves. So that's essentially what happened. That's what post Aries means. So if you actually go in game, when you're on your roster, if you go over to squads and you scroll down, well, actually, you don't have to scroll down. If you look at the very top team, these teams are all going to be in order of release. So the newest team in the game right now is Vigilante. The one right before that was Starjammers, then Liberty, then Uncanny, so on and so forth. So if we scroll all the way down to where Illuminati is, you can see this is where the post-Aries and the pre-Aries meta starts. So anything from Illuminati down is all pre-Aries. So if you're wondering like, well, what were all the characters that are pre-Aries, that's literally the only indicator that you need. And then you can kind of look at it for yourself instead of me putting it all on one infographic. So just find Illuminati and then scroll down and you'll see what characters are going to be pre-Aries. Now, not all pre-Aries characters are going to be like bad or unuseful. Some are going to have very niche, plug and plays like Infinity Watch, Eternals, things like that. But what I would really suggest for you guys is to focus on all or mostly post-Aries characters because of that stat difference, right? So Annihilators, Orcus, Night Stalkers, Undying, Astrals. You can see most of these teams that I have here that are all post-Aries are all built up. Immortal, Mighty Avenger. So these are all very, very good characters for you to invest in. And then you can also filter through, raids. What are the best raid teams at the moment? So all the post-Aries stuff, you can just tell. You could just tell from the power level difference. Orcus is all post Aries. Alpha Flight, Spider Society, Hive Mind. These are all old arena team, meta raid teams. So you want to be focusing most of your attention and your resources on all the post Aries stuff to really get the best bang for your buck. So that right there is my very first tip, and again, the most important tip in my opinion. Second, join an active alliance and cluster. So you want to find a good alliance that is pushing raids and events as well. Camaraderie is one of the best aspects of this game. And also being in a cluster, an alliance cluster, allows you to move up in ranks. So you can start at some of the lower ranks if you're kind of trying to ease into the game a little more casually. And then once you start getting more serious and maybe really get into it and you want to start taking the game a little bit more competitively, then you can start moving up within that same cluster. So they'll have different tiers and different ranks and stuff that you can move up. And it's really, really good. Discord is key for communication. So getting into a Discord and just being around the leadership in there is going to help you understand your raid assignments, war callouts, things like that. So make sure you guys join an active alliance and a cluster because it really is one of the best things about this game is just being able to play with some of your friends and making friends along the way. Tip number 3 is making that Twitch account. It doesn't cost you anything to make a Twitch account. You just need a Gmail. You go on twitch.tv, and there's tons of really, really good streamers that you guys can find on Twitch. The best thing about it is it's going to give you free resources. It's got really, really good vibes. And again, free stuff, right? Who doesn't like free stuff? So this is just a screenshot of what the Twitch page looks like, what the category for Marvel Strike Force looks like, and then what some of the rewards are. So this is May 19th, so this is week 2. So we're getting 20,000 intel, which again, right now, intel is probably the most premium currency aside from power cores in the game, because this is the only way to get gear tier 20, which is a bunch of end game stuff. But when you're just coming back, these 200 L4 training modules, they're gonna, they might serve you. There might be the difference between you having a character at gear tier 18 and gear tier 19 because of that level difference. 5 Hyperion shards. So again, free stuff every single week. Make a Twitch account. You won't regret it. Tip number 4, focusing on raids and arena. So the 2 most important game modes, in my opinion, are going to be raids and arena. Now, I think they're just as equally as important. Arena is going to give you your main source of power cores. And if you're kind of wondering, like, well, what team should I build for arena? What's the meta? My suggestion is to just emulate the teams that are beating you. So right now, it's going to be like Annihilators, Professor X, Odin, Null, things like that for me. But whatever arena teams that you're seeing in your bracket, you want to just try and copy that. But I would say, like, if you're thinking, or if you want to know like what the best team in arena is right now, like just vanilla team, it would still be the Annihilators. So if you're coming back into the game, try and get yourself at least a 3-piece of Annihilators, which would consist of Gore, Endgame Thanos, and Gladiator. And then you can build 2 other characters around that. Raids is going to be your main source of gear / intel. As I said before, intel is one of the premium currencies in the game right now. They're going to be doing this massive conversion with all the currencies that's going to be coming up as of tomorrow. If you're watching this video today, on the 21st of May, it's going to be tomorrow. And doing raids also is going to help you get command center rewards, which is going to be your daily intel farm. Okay, so right now the name of the game is farming intel, so we can get Quasar, so we can get gear tier 20 pieces. For all us, for all the end game players, that's kind of what we're looking for. But raids is going to be one of your main primary sources of gear and intel. Tip number 5 is getting a Mythic Characters ASAP. So depending on when you left the game, whether you left the game after finishing Dark Dimension 6 or Dark Dimension 7 or Dark Dimension 5, depending on where you left off, getting these Mythic Characters as soon as possible is going to be very beneficial for you. Odin is still, Odin's Dark Dimension 8. He's the 2nd best character in the game behind Professor X. Mephisto, a Dark Dimension 7 character that's a little over a year, possibly 2 years old. He's still a top 10 character, incredible character. Super Skrull, kind of an old character at this point. He doesn't have all the new stats. He's a pre-Aries character, but he's still a top 22 simply because of his kit alone. One big tip that I would suggest for you guys when it comes to Dark Dimensions is look at your raid teams first. Whatever characters that you're building to take into raids, you want to make sure that they sort of cross over into your Dark Dimension stuff as well. So take a look at the characters that are required for Odin and whatever characters are required for Odin are going to be needed for Mephisto and Super Skrull. So start with Dark Dimension 8, look at the characters, look at the traits that are required for Odin, to unlock Odin. Or even if you want to go a step further, Professor X, so if you want to look at some of the characters that are needed for Professor X, for example, Orcus is still one of the best teams to build because they're post-Aries. They're needed for Professor X. They're needed, you could use them in Dark Dimension 8, Dark Dimension 7, and Dark Dimension 6 because they're global villains. So Orcus is a perfect example of a team that's really, really good to build, and they're still the meta for the tech raid nodes at the moment. And then work your way down. So essentially what you want to do is you want to make sure that you cross over your Dark Dimension teams with your raid teams. Super important. Another tip I have for you guys is farming training mats and farming gold orbs. One of the ways that I like to do it is if you come over here to this little filter tab, you go down to miscellaneous right here. And then go over to battle favorites. This is where I have all of these characters saved. So instead of me harding them and, sort of like making, having too many characters favorited on my main roster page, I just have them in the battle favorites. And then here are all these nodes. So you click on it, you go to find. You have to obviously unlock the node first, but it'll tell you exactly where to find it. Okay, so that's a quick tip, and you can farm training mats as well as gold orbs. So every 600 energy is going to grant you 1 gold orb or 1 training orb. So just make sure you guys are doing this every single day. If you're capped on energy and you're not sure where to spend it and you're still not level 105, it's the perfect place to use your energy. And then my last and final tip is just to have fun, man. You know, this is a resource management game. Alliances and the Twitch community is the best part of the game, in my humble opinion. Twitch for me is one of the best things that ever happened to me when it comes to this game. And alliances, you know, and making friends along the way, it really is one of the best aspects to this type of game. And last but not least, celebrate your own personal accomplishments. Okay. Essentially what that means is, you know, don't let FOMO get the best of you. You know, there's going to be people that are going to be wailing out in the game. They're going to be spending tons of money. If you're free to play or if you're a spender, just celebrate your own personal accomplishments. If you unlocked Dark Dimension, you know, if you finished Dark Dimension 6, or you just unlocked Mephisto, or you just got Shadow King, or you just got Logan, celebrate that. You know, be proud of, you know, the effort that you're putting into to your account and into your roster to get these little milestones, and don't concern yourself with what the whales are doing. Okay, so just have fun with the game and you'll enjoy it much more. There you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you all for watching. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys drop a like on this video if it did help you, and subscribe to the channel for more Marvel Strike Force content. I'm going to be putting out more videos. I'm getting back into the game. I'm going to be putting out not only end game player stuff, but as I also have a sort of a new to mid game account. It's only level 80, but it's about 4 million TCP. If you guys are interested in seeing what that new to mid game player experience is like. You know, I haven't unlocked Shadow King on it. I haven't unlocked Logan on it. I haven't done those trials yet. So I'm going to be making some guides on that, like, and show you guys how to min-max those and spend the least amount of resources to get those characters unlocked. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel for stuff like that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Peace.